Hello, Army. Welcome back to my channel. Millions of eyes were on Jungkook the moment he walked into the Hublot event. And what happened next didn't just catch attention, it shifted everything. From the way the staff welcomed him to the cameras following his every step, it felt less like a brand appearance and more like a royal arrival. Every movement was watched, every expression captured. But just when it seemed like the entire spotlight belonged to Jungkook alone, something quieter, something almost invisible, began to unfold. Because Taehyung noticed. Not loudly, not in a way anyone would immediately point out, but in a way that felt different. The room was still filled with energy, voices overlapping, lights reflecting off glass surfaces, staff moving carefully around the members. Everything looked exactly how it should. Perfect, controlled, expected. And yet, something wasn't right. Taehyung felt it the moment Jungkook passed by him. For a split second, their eyes met, and in that brief moment, something shifted. Jungkook was smiling, just like everyone expected him to, but behind that smile, there was something heavier, something tired, something real. It wasn't confidence anymore. It wasn't performance. It was exhaustion, relief, something unspoken. And out of everyone in that room, only Taehyung seemed to catch it. He didn't move closer. He didn't interrupt. He didn't react in any obvious way. He simply watched. Not like a performer watching another performer, but like someone who understood exactly what that expression meant. Because this wasn't about the event anymore. This was about what happened before it. The real moment didn't start under those lights. It started earlier, at the airport. Fans had seen fragments, short clips, shaky footage, angles that didn't fully show what was happening. There were glimpses, but no clear picture. Something was missing. Something important. And then hours later, Jungkook spoke. Not on stage, not in front of flashing cameras, but in a quieter space, backstage, where the noise couldn't reach the same way. There was a moment at the airport, he said slowly. A moment nobody really saw. Everything paused. We didn't plan it. There were no cameras on us, but we needed it. And then Taehyung said it. We hugged. 2 simple words. But they carried more weight than anything else that had happened that day. Because suddenly, everything people thought they understood didn't fit anymore. The distance, the controlled interactions, the careful behavior, it all collapsed in that one quiet admission. Jungkook went down slightly before continuing. It wasn't for anyone else. It was just for us. His voice stayed calm, but the meaning didn't. We were overwhelmed. The noise, the pressure, everything. And in that moment, the only thing that felt real was standing next to him. Taehyung didn't try to soften it. He didn't laugh it off. He didn't turn it into something lighter. Sometimes, he said quietly, you don't need words. You just need someone who understands. And that was the moment everything shifted for ARMY. Because the strongest moments between them were never the ones captured on camera. They were the ones that weren't meant to be seen at all. Back at the event, that quiet understanding lingered beneath the surface. Jungkook moved through the crowd, smiling when needed, responding when spoken to, playing his part perfectly. But something had changed. Not visibly. Not dramatically. Just enough to feel different. Taehyung stayed aware of it, not staring, not obvious, but present. Every shift in Jungkook's expression, every pause, every small change in energy, he noticed. And that awareness created a different kind of tension. Not uncomfortable, not dramatic, but real. Later, backstage, the atmosphere changed completely. The noise faded. The lights felt softer. Conversations became quieter. Jungkook sat scrolling through reactions on his phone. He wasn't smiling. Not because he regretted anything, but because he understood what it meant now. Once something real is said out loud, it doesn't belong only to you anymore. Taehyung walked in and sat beside him. No words at first. Just silence. "They're going to turn this into something bigger," Jungkook said quietly. Taehyung nodded. "They always do." And outside, that's exactly what was happening. Clips were being replayed. Moments slowed down. Every glance, every movement, analyzed again and again. Some people saw comfort. Some saw pressure. Some saw something deeper they couldn't fully explain. But none of them saw the full truth. Because the truth wasn't in the clips. It was in the moments that weren't captured clearly. Later that night, a blurry photo appeared. Two figures at the airport, close, almost hidden within a crowd. Not clear enough to confirm everything, but not unclear enough to ignore. "That's us," Jungkook said softly. Taehyung didn't respond immediately, but he didn't deny it either. And just like that, the moment became real to everyone else too. Not just a story. Not just speculation. Something that actually happened. But what people still didn't understand was what that moment meant. Because it wasn't about being seen. It wasn't about creating an image. It was about holding on when things felt overwhelming. That hug wasn't about the airport, he said later. Taehyung looked at him. It was about everything we didn't say. And that silence that followed said more than anything else could. Because some moments don't need explanation. They exist. They happen. And they stay with you. Not because the world saw them, but because they were real. And maybe that's why this one mattered so much.